Hi, and welcome to Dramatic Knits. My name is Steve, also known as Dramatic Knits.
And I'm Callie, also known as Cowsters.
And today is Sunday, December 27th, 2015. This is episode 237. If you're a returning viewer, you'll know this face. She's been gone for a while, but she's back. And if you're a new viewer, welcome to the show, and hopefully you enjoyed today's show and you'll come back in the future. So, welcome back, Callie.
Thank you. Thank you to everyone that has messaged me, sent me patterns, and have kept me in their thoughts and prayers. It's been very, very rough last month, and I'm happy to be better and sitting here instead of elsewhere. So, thank you so much, guys, for being patient with me, and thank you, Steve, for, being a trooper and keep going on, because
the show must go on. Quite literally. So it's funny that she's back, because I woke up this morning and I don't think I'm getting sick. Knock on wood. Because I really hate to spend my last week of vacation being sick, but I woke up and my ears are just clogged with crap. I don't know. So hopefully you can hear me well. I feel like I need to project, but then I feel like I'm really loud. Y'all have been there, when your ears are clogged up. And so if I sound too soft, just kind of tap me on the shoulder. So I do know I need to project so that the microphone will pick up clearly. So, I'll give you a quick week in review, and then Callie can catch you up on what's been going on in her life. Recorded last Monday, so it's been under a week, and I've been on vacation, and it's been pretty nice. It's been filled with, business stuff in the holidays, and dyeing and rescanning and making mini skeins and making more mini skeins and more mini skeins. Oh, so many mini skeins. But I'll talk about that at the end. Yeah, just a few. Like 200. Just a little bit of that, but I've not been pushing myself and killing myself. I know when Andy was on vacation the week before, he did a lot of dyeing. And I said, I applaud you for doing that, but I'm not going to kill myself while I'm on vacation. So I've still got another week of vacation. I still have a lot more things that I will get done. But my phone is going off. Anyway, in case you heard that buzzing. So the holidays have come and went, or at least Christmas has for those of us who celebrate. So it was an excellent Christmas for us. Very relaxing. Now that... Come on up. Somebody wants to say hi. There we go. Now that my mom lives so close, she wanted to have Christmas at her place, and we always have done breakfast with our family. So, but she actually invited us over Christmas Eve because she was cooking. She's like, well, if you guys don't want to cook. So we kind of had Thanksgiving dinner again. It was really, really good. Very relaxing. And then the next day we got up and relaxed, stayed in our PJs. We told her that's the way it's going to roll. That's what we do anymore. We don't get out of our PJs on Christmas. And we relaxed for a little bit and then went over to her apartment and spent a good couple hours over there just enjoying breakfast and doing presents, and it was low-key. And we came back home and we took a nap, and then we watched some TV and a movie together and had filet mignon.
Whoa!
It's from our Omaha steak boxes, because we got those for all of his family for Christmas gifts, and then we got one for ourselves. So they were a little small, but they were really good. So
that's a good call. Good present.
Yep.
That is so if you eat meat.
Yes. Well, and it was very reasonable, and our dessert was actually these like little caramel apple tartlet things, and those came out of those boxes too. So lots and lots of food. But it was a very relaxed, and it was a good day. It was a really good day. We both enjoyed ourselves a lot. So, so those of you who celebrated, I hope you had a wonderful holiday. And those of you who had a Friday, I hope you had a good Friday. And, so New Year's is coming up. And, well, we can't beat last year's New Year's in New York City. It'll be fairly relaxed. I think Andy's dad may be coming into town. I don't know. We'll see. When he gets here, I'll believe that he's actually coming, because he says he comes a lot. He's going to come a lot, but I think he may be coming, so we'll see. So anyway, how have you been the last month, my darling?
Well, let's just say me and the flu have been real tight. And that was not as fun as I make it sound. So I haven't recorded since before Thanksgiving with you, I don't believe.
It's been a while.
Yes. So after Thanksgiving, that weekend after, not like there's Thanksgiving, Black Friday, that weekend, not that weekend, but the next weekend I had my leadership class. We did our midterm presentations, and that went really well, and I was really happy to get that done. And we were the first group to go, so we kind of set the bar. And then everybody else was like, we see your bar and we will match it and raise it. So it was really good. I really learned a lot, and I really loved my class. It has been really great. Weekend after that, I had to work, and that's when you had the trunk show. And so that was a good weekend up until Sunday, in which I got the flu the first time. You'll see a trend here in a little bit. And so that was not fun, but it was good to see everyone and go to the trunk show not being sick. The next day I did, but it was really great to meet up with a bunch of folks from the southeastern part of the state, so that was good. And then the weekend after that, I was sick Sunday and Monday, and I went back to work Tuesday through Friday. And then, not this just Saturday, but the Saturday after that, or Saturday before that, excuse me, my mom and I did some Christmas shopping, and I finally got a winter coat, and still don't need it, because it's like...
It's in the 40s
it's
today.
In the 40s. And I stated on, like, previous episodes that, like, to me, I'm not wearing a winter coat. I can just put a hoodie or, like, a fleece or a Columbia jacket on if it's, like, 30. Like, that's my solid temperature where I'm about at. So yeah. And then I got the flu again. And that time, I had it Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. And I went back to work Wednesday of this week. So, which is crazy because I worked Wednesday when there was 3 people in the office because we were, a lot of people were observing the holidays early by traveling and such. So I worked one day in the office, and then we had Christmas Eve and Christmas. So, yeah. So again, thanks to everyone for the well wishes and messages. I'm slowly trying to respond to everyone. On Christmas, we opened presents and then went into my aunt and uncle's for Christmas lunch. And so I have to say this was kind of a little bit of a sour spot in Christmas, but it wasn't totally, in the fact that my uncle is an alcoholic and has been for the last 15 years. I don't think I've ever seen him sober on any given whole day. So anyways, he was making a fool of himself on Christmas, and I called him out on it, and he got really kind of upset, but I'm pretty sure that it has now set the tone of, this is unacceptable behavior, because everyone has kind of lightly treaded around it, and I just, went head on, so I think he's kind of, starting to see that he's got a problem. So hopefully he will take the steps necessary to, get over his addiction and deal with the things that have led him to drink the way that he does. So if that's what it takes for me to help him to be that person that said something, then I hopefully it starts something new. But, it's the holidays, and I don't need to be treated like that, and my family doesn't either, so hopefully this is the last year of Drunk Uncle at Christmas. So, other than that, it was a really good day, because you're like, wow, that's a really low note. Where are you going from this?
I was just like, oh, holidays, okay.
But, it just needed to be said, and I think I was the one that needed to say it, because I'm kind of, held a little bit higher than my other cousins just because of different things of life choices, and that's not to say that I'm better than them because I'm not, but they kind of view it as that. So, yeah. Anywho, yeah. And then just sat around, watched some movies, and I've been reading a lot because I want to meet my Goodreads goal, and I'm 2 books away, and I need to have it done by 11:59 Thursday. So, yeah. That's where we're at.
Better read that Cat in the Hat.
I actually have 3 picture books on my reading list, and I'm not ashamed.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. Alright, let's get to the knitting. So, what's taking a bow? I have nothing. Sorry, but I have progress. I told Callie. I said, I think I'm out of this rut of just showing you guys the same thing where I'm making progress, but it doesn't look like I'm making progress, so.
I do have a finished object, and before I go on, I just want to say I'm sorry if you're wearing earbuds. I'm working on metal needles that are larger than I usually, so you might hear them click a little bit more, and I'm sorry that's distracting, but I'm trying to be better about it, so my apologies.
And you may be hearing jingle bells downstairs a lot. We have them on the back door. I've talked about this before, not only for the holidays. We're trying to train the dogs to use it when they need to go outside. Corn dogs used it twice, and Andy freaks out when it happens, and, But Andy has to go downstairs. He's working on dyeing stuff, so he has to put, wet yarn down in the basement to dry. So if you hear the door, sorry. I'll remember next time to take it off before we record.
I do have a finished object, and it is the Carrie pattern by Megan Sanders, and I love this. I knit it in creatively dyed yarns. They're no longer in business. I bought it in 2008 at Stitches Midwest. There is no colorway name for it. I used a size 3 US needle. I highly recommend the pattern if you are a fan of the boomerang shape. This was a wonderful knit. I did knit on this mostly when I was
Get chill, sorry.
when I was not sick, but it's got some lace details. There's two different lace sections, and I really liked this. So Megan, fantastic pattern. I should say I was generously gifted this pattern as well by Megan, and I really, really like this. And I'm actually not keeping this. I'm giving it away to one of my former coworkers. She retired on Wednesday, and it's bittersweet because she didn't want to retire, but because of our state still not having a budget, it was better for her in the long run to retire with the benefits and retirement plan that is still in play before it gets switched around and changed, and she might have to work until she's 80 to, get back what she would have lost. So in the long run, it was better for her, but selfishly, I wanted her to stay, and she wanted to stay. So I told her, she said, when are you going to ever knit me something? And when she asked me this, it was like when I first started, and she found out I knitted, and I said, Nancy, you got some time. I said, you're not retiring anytime soon. And so I said, the day that you retire, I will give this to you, or give you something. But since I had just gotten over the flu, I didn't want to give it to her right away because I wanted to wash it. Because I could have given it to her unwashed and she would have been just happy with it. I wouldn't have, because
she probably wouldn't have later.
Yeah. So I was telling Steve that I've got ends to still weave in, because at that point when I finished it, I was still really sick, and I was like, I didn't want to lick it to go into the needle, not the whole shell.
The yarn.
Yes. So anywho, that's a long-winded to say. I really liked the pattern. I'd give it a shot. It's Carrie by Megan Sanders. So
I'll get there eventually. It's a beautiful pattern.
It is.
All right, so what's performing this week? The first thing is Portage by Melissa Shishwari. This is knit out of Elizabeth LeBold Silky Wool in color number 65, which is spruce, on sizes 5, 6, and 7 US. And I've got some progress, y'all. I worked on this Christmas, and I actually was able to kind of try it on. So I finished the garter of doom around the two fronts and the collar. Not only did I finish that, I finished one of the pockets. And then did a sew and bind off on all of the collar, which, if you know sew and bind off, takes a long time. And you have to have 4 times the length of the whole entire part that you're binding off. So every stitch, it takes going through 2 stitches to bind off 1 stitch. But I have to pull all that yarn. It's one thing if you do it on a sock. But I will tell you, I love the finished edge of the sew and bind off. Especially, I really wish I would have done that like on the bottom ribbing, because my bottom ribbing's a little flared. But like I said, this is going to be more of a around the house sweater. So anyway, now I can show you this in all of its glory.
It looks really great.
So there is the collar. But it is actually, it's 6 inches worth of garter, but it's actually flipped back halfway.
It's a really nice detail.
And what's really neat, the pocket over here is done, is you actually knit out on the pocket, and then when you fold the collar back, sorry, I'm not showing this too well, I will actually fold this back to here, and seam it, and look, I've got a pocket. And it'll go right in here.
That is really nice.
So, I've got to do, I've got stitches ready to go to do the second one, and then once I do the second one, I'll seam them on, and then from there I can put the sleeves, one of the sleeves on the needles. So, it's getting there, folks. The sleeves, I did look just at the first line under sleeves, it says they are made intentionally long, extra long, so, just even more knitting. But
you can always
it's forward progress. Well, no, I want it to be big and oversized and comfy. Though I tell you, with my Potbelly, my beer gut with Sans beer, I tried this on, and it's supposed to be an open front cardigan. There's no closures, and I'm just like, it looks like a Pregger's cardigan on me. Again, for being around the house, I don't really care, but it's like, I don't have the flatter stomach, you know what I mean? That it just looks like it's hanging. It just kind of grabs the sides of my gut. It's alright, though. It's going to be lovely for around the house and whatnot. And, we'll see. I may wear it out. Maybe if it's done by pipeline, I'll try to bring this year, because last year I finished whatever colorwork sweater I did, and Callie was there. And about 2 hours in, I was so hot, I had to go take it off and put it in the car. It was warm, though, last year during pipeline. And it may be a little cooler this year, being at the end of February. But it was also warm in there. When you're in a big room with 150 people, it was real warm.
I remember that because you went out and you were like, I just got a strap. So
I was like, I gotta take this off.
And then I'm just hot all the time. This is no surprise, none whatsoever. If you know me, sit close to me, whatever. And so I was like, I always wear a cami underneath my shirt. So I was just ripped off my shirt, and then we went around for a drive, and we went into Walgreens, and I was like, I don't really care if I look like this. And the thing of it is that in Washington, I probably know a good amount of people through 4-H, so it'd been like, you're looking real professional.
It was what it was, but, you can't overheat, so. But anyway, that's Portage. I'm super happy that there's progress done. It took me pretty much all Christmas Day to do the sew and bind off on that collar, but
it makes it.
It does, and it's seamless, and it's, it just looks really nice. So, I was really happy with it, and I'm like, I may do sew and bind offs for a lot of things now. It takes the extra time, but I always like to think, if you take so much time, you got to put the time in on the finishing, and then when it comes to seaming, I'm like, screw it, I don't care. But that's one thing that's not, you're going to be guaranteed the outcome if you take the time with it.
Right.
Seaming you could take the time and then you get up to under the arms and you're off and you gotta, you know, even though you took the time, it still does not always work out perfectly. But with a sewn bind off, you've got the stitches on the needles. As long as you take the time, it's going to look good. And so I'm a fan, and I hadn't done it in a while because I've only ever done it when I had done toe-up socks, and Lord knows I haven't done those in a while. So it was a good experience with that. The second thing is Mix It Up by Jana Huck. This is my final commission knit for the local alpaca farm. I'm using local alpaca that's been mill spun into a fingering weight. The white is natural. The blue is dyed to our blue steel colorway. Excuse me. And I actually had to move on to a new section, or a new pattern repeat, which is the same pattern, I just got to reverse the colors. So, the rows are still extra long. So that you won't notice any difference in the center, but I actually reversed the colors down here. So you can see a little bit of white onto the blue side, and you can see a little bit of blue onto the white side. So I actually have to do this repeat, the same repeat 3 more times, and then I will start doing some larger swaths of color all the way across to finish it off. So the end is in sight. I'm not saying it's going to be done by next week by any means, maybe another 2 to 3 weeks, but the end is in sight, which is good. And it's something just a little bit different, even if it is the same exact pattern repeat. It's just something different. So that's that. Third is my Miss Swiss shawl by Romy Hill. I'm doing this as a knit along with the Super Summer Knit Together group on Ravelry. As we know, Callie and I are both attending this summer, so we're super excited. And they're doing a knit along with any Romy Hill pattern through the end of January. So I started this last week. I had very little done. I'm using Knit Picks palette in the J colorway. And then I will be adding in a skein of Lediman Fiber Arts Joe Steeler in a Director's Interpretation, which is a one-of-a-kind. So I've done a little bit more on this. Again, like I said, it's got noops. So I've added some to this. Sorry, the blue is blowing it out. But you can see here it's got noops. Very little noops. Sorry, I'm a 12-year-old boy sometimes. In between these eyelet sections. So what's interesting is you actually start at the point and knit up here. And this is done in purl garter, so instead of knitting, you're purling every row, which isn't as bad as you would think. And then I will pick up and do sides in the contrasting color, and you can see there's actually yarn overs on the end to make it super easy to pick up. But I'll do that with the Lediman Fiber Arts, and that's done in regular knit garter, so that'll be nicer when it's longer, you know. So that's that, and this is on a size 3 and 4 US, 3.25 and 3.5. I think this is on a 3 right now. I'm used to knitting on like 5s or 6s on shawls, so it feels a little more dense, but that's something that I noticed about your shawl too when I felt it. It's a little more dense than my normal boomerangs that I knit. Mm-hmm. So it'll keep you warmer, but you won't have as much drape. So I'm hoping when this blocks out, it'll have a little bit more drape. But it'll definitely be more of a sturdier shawl. So, and who knows what I'll use it for? Maybe even the special door prize that I'll donate to SSK. The last thing I'm working on are my Shamrockin' socks. These are my new self-striping socks. I showed them on the needles last week. I work on them when I'm rescanning and doing stuff. So I'm almost done with the leg on the first one. This is Knitterly Things Vesper sock yarn in the Shamrockin' colorway. So there's a little blips of white in between the transition colors, this is some vintage stuff, but she had been dyeing for years, I think, before I got this. So yeah, that's alright. So it is what it is. But I'm still liking them. These will be for me. I haven't had socks for me. Though I did notice Andy has a hole in one of his knit socks yesterday. He's like, you should darn my socks. I said, no, I'll just knit you a new pair. So I'm always knitting socks. So And that's it. That's all that I'm working on. And actually, I should leave this out so I can have something to work on. Yeah, and stop sitting on my leg. You'd think I'd learn, but I still sit on my leg.
I am actively working on basically 2 projects. I am still working on my self-striping socks by, the yarn is by Mint Rain, and the colorway is Pitch Perfect, and I really love it. I was telling Steve before we recorded, I was like, when I was sick, I was like, I got to a point where,
where she dropped some stitches off her needles.
Stitches. And it just got real easy because I didn't move my hand. Sorry. But I actually, I was just like, I don't know how to do socks like this. So I was like, I'm going to wait till I see Steve and ask him. And it just has taken this long. So I have the leg done and the foot done. And I have the waist yarn in for my afterthought heel. And so now I just need to decrease. And yes. I really like this yarn. And thank you. I really like this yarn, and I've actually have about 7 skeins of it in my Etsy cart. So funds right now are a little low because I need to get paid. So and I need to make good choices financially. So, but I do plan on getting some more yarn.
I just realized my mom just drove into the driveway for some reason, and then I saw her backing out because you're in the driveway. I have no idea why she's coming over, but that's what happens when she lives a mile away. So
I'm working on this, and yes.
Yours now, your gauges must be different than mine, so that's one thing we may have to check when we're done. Just because yours seems a lot looser. And what needle are you on?
I'm on 1.5.
Yeah, because I just went down to 1s.
I might be on 1s. Let me double check.
Because your fabric's pretty loose, so you might want to for your next pair. But we'll see how they fit on you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I use double points. I don't do 2 serps. And I noticed that I do have that, kind of traditional ladder in it. But they're for me. They're not for gifts. So.
Right.
It doesn't bother me so much. But if I were doing it, and this is no fault to the yarn. It's just my technique. So there's nothing wrong with the yarn. Buy it. Buy it. So working on that. And then for our toy knit along, I have cast on my toy last week, actually. And I'm knitting the Big Snowy Owl from Pearl Soho. And this is where I'm at. I have the bottom done, the body done, and I'm working on forming the head of the owl. So I'm decreasing. I'm going to have this done in time. I need to go to Walmart after we get done hanging out because I need to get a whole bag of stuffing. Because I read the pattern and I knew, because Diane Knittables, when she was podcasting, she did this pattern and she was talking about how much stuffing it used. And so I had that in my mind, seeing Diane make it, and I was like, I need stuffing. Well, being a crafter of multi-different crafts, I had a half bag here and half bag there, and so I was like, oh yeah, no problem. Okay. I pull out the half bag at 1 o'clock this morning because I was just wound and I couldn't sleep. And I was like, this is not even going to put a dent in it. And I was like, let me grab my other 3 partial bags. And I was like, holy cow, this is going to be 4 bags of stuffing. And I was like, oh goodness. Oh goodness. And then I'm like, one, I'm making it because I've loved it since Diane made it, and I had always put it in my queue, and I was like, I have no idea what I'm going to do with this when I get done, because I was like, I could put it in my office and put it in my guest chair, but then I was like, then it looks uninviting, people can't talk to me, and then I was like, I could just stick it in my office because I've got file cabinets in my office that are about like 4 feet from the ceiling, and I was like, I could put it there, but we've been having problems. We've had leaky roofs, leaky windows, leaky everything, and I was like, if my owl gets destroyed by this building, I'm gonna crush everything in my sight. Like, so then I was like, I'm gonna put it in my office chair. I think that's where I'm gonna go with it. So, but I might give it away, but let's be real honest, I'm not.
Okay, if it's not going in your office, it's going to go right there in between us and hang out. Okay? Those are your only 2 options. I'm just going to put that out there. If not, I won't take it. Because Lord knows I'm not going to knit a stuffy, let alone that size. So.
It could just be our 3rd podcaster in the back. So, but anywho, those are, I'm using, I could tell you more about this pattern. I am using Cascade Lana Grande. It is 100% Peruvian wool, and it's kind of what it looks like in the ball. So I'm using size 15 US, and I'm just really happy that our new yarn store in town opened up, because she actually had both the double points for it as well as the Chagu needles, because I was like, I'm not working on some crappy Addy, not the Addies that are crappy, but like the ones that make your hands smell like pennies.
Those are the old Addies.
Yeah.
I heard the new ones don't do that anymore.
But the other shop, that's all they had, so I was like, I don't want to do that. So I was really happy that I saw these, and especially because I like the cord because it's flexible. So that's all I'm actively working on.
Cool. What's in rehearsal for me? No, that's right. I'm cloudy brained today. And the fact that I think my mom is sitting downstairs waiting for us to be done, and she's going to be sitting for an awful long time. And I don't care, because I'm not editing this, so she can just wait. That's what happens when you don't call first.
Yep.
So anyway, I don't think I really have anything in rehearsal, because I still have a good deal of progress that I need to make on stuff, and honestly, when I finish the Mix It Up, I don't know if I'll cast on anything to take its place, just so I can I'm kind of at that point where I have very limited crafting time currently, and I need to focus that attention to make the most impact, if that makes sense. So that's nothing in the foreseeable future in rehearsal.
We'll have a discussion with Steve later this afternoon, because I have pretty much laid out all of the plans for the knit-alongs for 2016, but I want to double check with Steve that he's okay with that, if he would like to add anything or be like, I hate you, why are you making us do this? So I just want to go over a few things with Steve, so that is going to dictate some of my future plans for knitting, but I think my biggest in rehearsal kind of thing is getting my Ravelry project pages up to date, so because I'm not too up on that.
But no one's making you. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen.
I know, but there's a certain degree of accountability.
Alright, behind the scenes, my spinning. I finished some spinning, and I'm super pleased with it, because everything I spin by the people who dye this fiber comes out gorgeous. So I finished spinning the Three Waters Farm Falkland in the cool soil blue sky, and I got 208 yards of a 2-ply, I'd say worsted weight. And here it is, folks. It's already labeled and up in the shop if you're interested. So there it is. Whoop, there it is. So I'm really, really in love with it. It's different shades of blues and browns and almost yellow golds and things. Just really, really pretty and squishy. It's a sturdy wool. It's not merino soft. It is Falkland, but very, very nice. So would make a nice hat, things of that nature. So you can definitely check it out. This is finally got some handspun back up in the shop. We've been cleared out of handspun for a while, so I would like to get some stocked up for show season next year. I like to have a couple skeins in the booth, especially when I put that on our applications. That's one of the things that we sell, and it's fine if we sell out of it. We sell out of it, right? You know, it means people want your stuff. So that's done. You can check that out in the Handspun tab in the shop at leadingmenfiber.bigcartel.com. And I started spinning another commission spin. This one is a gradient. It's from a dyer I've not heard of before. It's called Spinneretta's Studio. It's Polworth in the Frenzy 2 colorway. And it went from, I've spun a gradient like this, I think, from the first draft. But it went from white to, and it goes to almost this midnight blue. So you can see here. So I'm just spinning it straight out of the braid. And I'm going to chain ply it or Navajo ply it to keep it as a gradient. And then that'll be another commission spin done. I thought I was almost done with this one commission spinning projects. And I've got 3 more braids after that before I can move on to the other person who's already booked me after that. But they knew it'll be, you know, not quite a year since they gave me fiber before I get to their stuff. But they knew. I was completely honest. So
yeah,
it is what it is. But
they're good people.
They are good people. So that's the spinning that's been done. So let's move on to In the Spotlight. So what are we watching and reading? Again, I'm not going to talk much about anything that I'm reading. I haven't finished anything. You know, I blow through books when I'm spending an hour and 10 minutes in the car every day. But when you take that away,
yeah,
reading kind of goes down. So I'm still listening to a few things here at the house. But American Horror Story Hotel, I did catch up on that, but that's actually done until next week, till the 6th. It doesn't come back. We're continuing to watch House of Cards, and we're in season 3, right? Yeah, we're in season 3, and I'm still enjoying it. We're still watching. We watched 2 episodes of it on Christmas. Continuing to watch season 2 of Once Upon a Time. Enjoying that. I watch it, you know, half an episode occasionally before I go to bed. We did watch a movie on Christmas. We watched Kingsman. It's the Secret Service. It's kind of a comedy James Bond type thing. I thought it was alright. It was pretty good. I enjoyed it. I think sometimes they went a little far, you know, for being the Kingsmen and being gentlemen. Especially the end was pushing it a little bit for me. I'm like, oh, you lost it. You went just too far right there at the end. But I definitely say check it out. We actually DVR'd that off of like Showtime or something, so it's not on Netflix. So that's all that I've been watching and reading.
Cool. Guys, I have been reading like it's the end of the world. And it kind of is because I need to meet a goal soon. So I set my goal for this year for my Goodreads goal. I am on Goodreads, and I think I'm under Callie Karen, but I could be wrong. You can find me pretty easily, I'm sure. So I set my goal as 27 books, and because last year I set it at 25 and I didn't meet it, but I was like, I set 27 because I was turning 27 this year, so I was like, yes, we're going to meet it. So I have been reading, like I said, quite a bit because I was down 9 books like a few weeks ago. So I read In Order book. It's a new young adult book. It's called Dumplin', and I'm sorry I don't have the author's name, but it's DUMPLIN'. And it had a lot of buzz around the book because it's about a plus-size girl going through high school and entering a beauty contest. And so I really, really liked the book. I was on Goodreads and I was reading a predominant reviewer's review of it, and she didn't think it was very body image positive body image. And so I kind of thought that was a really unfair view of it because I don't think that the author intended it to be like this guide to positive body image.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just a really realistic account if you were ever plus size as a female going through high school. And so that's what I kind of looked at it as. I was like, it's kind of a really realistic portrayal of that. Because I was in high school. And so I thought, you know, this really is a good take on it. It doesn't mean that it's the best example. It doesn't mean that, you know, it doesn't mean that it has to be the spokesperson for the body positive movement. It
Right.
just doesn't have to be. And I think a lot of people hailed it as such. But I think, like I said, it's just very realistic, especially if you're going through it or went through it. So I would highly recommend it. It's actually one of the books that I actually would like to have in my library, of it being in hardcover. So that kind of says a lot about it and what I think of it. The next book that I read was Tommy DePaula's Christmas Remembered by Tommy DePaula. He's a predominant children's author, illustrator, and I really liked it. The book says that it's recommended for all ages, but I think if you grew up with Tommy DePaula's work as a youth, that you should really hold back and read it kind of like in your early 20s is what I would say starting it as. I would not read it to kids, just because there's a lot of kind of adult content with drinking, and he said you can edit those parts out of it, but I think it's kind of a lot of editing. So I highly recommend that. There's a lot of really good Christmas art throughout the book. The next book that I read was Mrs. I'm going to pronounce this wrong, but Mrs. Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. It's the first in the series. I really, really liked this. I read it very quickly, and I actually held off on starting the second one last night because I was like, I need to get a quick book in so that way I can finish it, or finish the series. So I really like that. There's a lot of talk on, like, I look at Goodreads after I finish the book to see what people think of it, to see if I'm, like, baseline crazy or, you know, like, where I fit in on this. And what I found with this book is that you're either in the camp of you love it or you're not gonna love it. So I would say that going into it, it is being made into a Tim Burton film, and the release date is going to be Christmas of next year, is what I've read. And so with that, if you're a Tim Burton fan, you can kind of guess as to what kind of themes it deals with, per se. It's a fantasy novel that uses pictures to help tell the story. So I really liked it, would recommend it, but again, you're going to be in the camp of you love it or you don't. That's how I feel about it. At points, the book is long-winded, so it's kind of like this review. So that's where that is. And then the last book that I just finished this morning at like 1:30 was The River Runs Between Us by Richard Peck. Again, I love Richard Peck. He is a local to us author. He grew up in Decatur, Illinois. I love all of his other books. This was not my particularly favorite. It's set in the Civil War, so I would give it a read if you are a Richard Peck fan, though. It's just not exactly at the level that I would have liked to have him write it, especially because he was kind of slipping in between using some Southern dialect and not. And I can understand that, but he wasn't consistent with his language, and that bothered me. So, if that's kind of your thing and you nitpick about that, I don't, and it did bother me, so that's what I have to say about that. So I'm just 2 books away from hitting 27, and I think I can do it.
Cool. Oh. Awesome. Well, I have some stash enhancement. We don't have a book review for you this week. We're going to put that off for one more week. We do have some books to review, don't worry. But we'll spread them out. But anyway, I have some stash enhancement. My 3 Waters from Top of the Month Club came, so, I got one out of the stash. I've had many more than one enter the stash since I've last spun one, but that's okay because they're beautiful. And this one, again, is no exception.
No.
So this one is, I think this is the first time we've gotten this fiber. This is Rambouillet, which I've heard is like the French merino. I don't think I've ever spun Rambouillet. And this is the colorway Birds in the Holly. And it's gorgeous. Gorgeous! Look at that.
Wants it.
Can't wait to see how it spins up with the beautiful base of grays and dark greens and mossy greens, you know, and then these bright pops of color, which are obviously the birds in a holly tree. So
I love it.
So, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Gotta take pictures of it, but it's already in my stash. So that's all that I've got.
I've got some stash enhancement, and some of it I left at home too. So that'll be for next week when I will be here. So the first thing that I have is actually a Christmas present from Steve and Andy. It is a knitting bag, and it is by Lantern Moon. And I really liked it, and I had been holding off on it, but I kept looking at it every time I went back to the shop. So when I went to go buy it at the trunk show, I went to go pay for it, and Steve stopped me and said, "Merry Christmas!"
I knew she wanted one of them. They had like 3 or 4 different styles, and I was like, oh, awesome, because I couldn't remember which one it was, and I didn't want to get the wrong one. So
I really love it. It's huge, and it's going to be great for hauling back and forth between my home and Steve and Andy's. So the things that I got at the trunk show happen to be some of their Madeline Tosh stash that they had. And I got, it's all on the Tosh DK base. So I got Button Jar Blue. I didn't even look at that name when I went to go pick it out. I was just like, I love that color. I also got Astrid Gray. Excuse me. And the third one I got was Norway Spruce. So you might say, wow, Callie, those colors look great together. And I'd say, thank you. Amber, Yarn Hoarder, helped picked them out with me. And just in case if you ever are in doubt, if you need to buy yarn and Amber's in your vicinity, you should just go with it.
You don't have a chance, and you know what? If Amber is around you, she will enable. She is master enabler.
Yes. She could sell anything, really. I truly believe it. And I would buy it because she's that dang persuasive. But anyhow, I love her so much. So, anyways, I got these together. And, you know, I have been saying that I wanted to do the Edison shawl. So this is the pattern. Sorry, it's in black and white. But not only did I want to make this pattern, but I emulated pretty much the same colorway that Amber used. So we're going to be twinsies, and it's going to be great. Because she should buy the Molly Ringwald sweater lot that they have. I'm just saying. You know what I'm talking about. Anyhow, so that's what I have for stash enhancement, and that will be cast on pretty soon once I get my life together and can set up a ball winder and Swift.
So, let's go into a round of applause. We do want to tell you have a few more days to use the generous coupon code to Mint Rain Hand-Dyed Yarns on Etsy. Katie is the proprietress of said company, and she has given us 10% off to all of our viewers on their purchases with the coupon code DramaticKnits10. Dramatic Knits, all one word. Well, all of it is one word, but Dramatic Knits is all in caps and then 10, and that'll get you 10% off good through December 31st, so only a few more days left to use that coupon code.
Yes.
Tweeting along.
Yes. So you had to have started on or after November 1st, 2015. And it can be any pattern. It can use any base of yarn. If you use any base of Leading Men Fiber Arts, you can enter your finished toy in the finished object or finished toy thread twice.
And that's any part of the project. If you just use it for a face or whatever, that's fine. Mm-hmm. But it has to use some Leading Men Fiber Arts to get 2 entries.
it does have to be classified in Ravelry as a toy, softie, or something akin to those words. It can't be like a shawl that you've like figured into. Don't try to pass one on me. If you have questions, please earburn me on Ravelry or send me a message. You guys have been really great about it. I've been keeping up in the thread, and there's a lot of really great toys. And I was like, oh, so much time, not enough of it. Yes, the thread will close on December 31st at 11:59, or whenever we close it. So
yeah, unless Callie comes over and hangs out with me, I don't even know if I'll be up till midnight. But she probably has plans because she's cool.
No, I don't. Not this year. So, yes.
If you've been participating, you know the game rule. You know the rules to the game. We've been doing this for a while now, so it's coming to a close. So get those toys finished up.
Yes.
Whether it's a toy or not, whatever you finish in the month of December, we hope you'll enter it into our December 2015 Race to the Finished Object contest. We have 2 wonderful prizes. The first is a skein of self-striping sock yarn from Mint Rain Hand-Dyed Yarns in the colorway Depths of Space. And we have a pattern from our featured designer, who is Megan Sanders. So thank you to both of them for donating. And then next time we record, we'll show you next month's awesome prizes. And so anything you've finished in the month of December doesn't need to be started in that month. Post a picture of the finished object. Only 1 picture per finished object, no matter what yarn you use. And we'll draw for those winners before we record next week. All right, so did you have anything to add, my dear?
Nope.
Okay, so we're going to move into center stage, all things Leading Men Fiber Arts. I'm going to talk about a few things, so you might want to not run away. But if you do leave us now and you're not interested in the yarny stuff, we'll say see you next week. And here we go. So, Leading Men Fiber Arts. As I talked about last week, I told you that we are going to be doing some year-in-review sets throughout the month of January. So we're going to have pre-orders up all throughout the month of January. And we're going to offer them in 4 different options. You can have either a Showstopper set or a Show Stealer set. So Showstopper is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. Show Stealer is 80% superwash merino, 10% cashmere, 10% nylon. Now, the first 2 options are full skeins of each new colorway that we premiered this year. We premiered 10 new colorways for each month. That's not our semi-solid series. We kind of come up with those as we deem fit, but new variegated colorways and things of the nature, and tonals and things like that. So we did 10 new colorways. You will get 10 full skeins of either base, and if you buy into the full set options, you get a bit of a discount, a 10% discount, which is essentially 1 skein for free. So the Showstopper sets of 10 full skeins will get are priced at $180, and the Show Stealer sets are at $216. So again, those pre-orders will be available all throughout the month of December. I'm excited. We finalized our packaging for that, and it'll be, I think, really cute. Not over the top. I'm not, little skein in the big wool. She does an amazing job with all that. I can't compare myself. We're 2 guys. If Andy was doing it, you were going to get it all in a box, just lined with tissue paper. So I'm trying to go a little bit more than that, a little bit. And Andy didn't see the light in the beginning, and then he started to go way out there and things that we would have had to pre-plan for a couple months to make it as good as it needed to be. So we kind of have an idea, and you have to remind me, I'll tell you when it's off camera for next year. So those are the full skeins. Now, if you don't want 10 full skeins, I understand, but we thought we'd offer it. But we are going to do mini skein sets. That's where I've been making all the mini skeins. So instead of our normal 20-gram mini skeins, you will get 10 10-gram mini skeins in a pack. The Showstopper will be $30, and the Show Stealer will be $34. And what I think I'm going to run along with this is throughout the months of January and February, in the Leading Men Fiber Arts group on Ravelry, so you must be a member of the group over there, I'm going to do a Leading Men Fiber Arts, our first knit along ever, and I'm going to do a totally tubular knit along. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to steal one of the sets for myself. And I'm going to do a tubular cowl where you provisionally cast on, and then I'm going to do the colors in the order that they came out in the year in review. And because it's tubular, you can just tie the ends in. You don't have to weave them in or anything. And I'm going to knit through all the mini skeins, and then I'm going to graft them together and make a tubular double thick cowl. I've never done one of those. So I'm going to open it up to, you can purchase the set, the year in review set, and kind of do what I'm doing. Now keep in mind, these were not color coordinated colors throughout the year. They may not all go together. I'm doing it for me. You could do it that way, but I'm also going to open it up if you want to just use one skein of Leading Men Fiber Arts and do a tubular cowl out of that one skein. You can do that as well. So that'll be throughout the months of January and February. And I haven't really finalized what the prizes will be, but it'll probably be a gift certificate to Leading Men Fiber Arts. So, excited about that. Check that out in the Leading Men Fiber Arts group on Ravelry. The second thing I want to talk about is our January colorway of the month. I told you that there was going to be one last week, but I created it this week, so now I have it to show you. So we're calling it Winter Night, Knight. It's a reference to the Dresden Files. I've read the first one, which did not include this particular character, but Andy has read all of them, so if you like the Dresden Files, you'll probably get the reference. But I liked the kind of homonym effect of Knight, either N-I-G-H-T or K-N-I-G-H-T. So here it is. This particular skein is on our callback base, so it's got some undyed sections, and then it's got actually 3 varying shades that have been of blue that have been kettle dyed. So they're kind of they're not set segments of the blue; they are blended together, and I think it came out really, really nice. So this is Winter Night, and we will have them on almost all of our bases, except for Spotlight, which is we can't get right now. It's on back order from our supplier. So check that out. Pre-orders will be up January 1st through January 8th. And, yeah. Alright, let me quickly show you what has been added to the shop this week. There's been a good deal. And then we'll let you go. So, let's enable you. And I've got dogs sleeping on either side of us. And they're going to need to move. There we go. We got one moved. And the other one. Sorry to disrupt your naps. You were well behaved. Because we warned them that they had to be well behaved while we were recording. So, big old tub of stuff, but that's alright. Okay, so let's just start this. Actually, I'm going to put the lid over here so I can start dropping stuff. Alright, let's just start at the top of the pile and see where we go. So, on Showstopper, we have the Grouch, as in Oscar the Grouch. Showstopper, we have No Good Deed, as from Wicked. We've got Alphaba with the green, emerald green, and black, and Glinda in the hot fuchsia. We also have it on some Dramaturg, which is DK weight. So you can have it on socks and a hat. On Dramaturg, or DK weight, we have Love Potion number 9. Showstopper, we have Dames at Sea. Soliloquy, which is 150 grams of 100% superwash BFL. 657 yards, we have Sandcastle. Sorry, the lighting's changing a little bit with the colors, but that's alright. On Showcase, we have Wild Goose Chase. This was premiered at SSK this past year. If you like the Wild Goose Shawlette by Paula Emmons Beasley, this is what it was originally designed in. On Show Stealer, we have Complete Imagination. This is last month's colorway of the month, so this would be in the year in review sets. On Showcase, we have Dreamweaver. So again, it's that blue with almost that halo overwash of purple. It's a beautiful color. On Showcase, we did do a lot of Showcase and DK this week. We have Industrial, so it's blues with some hints of silver and undertones of maroon. Close but not the same on Showcase, we've got Midnight Rendezvous. Showcase, we've got Barbie's Nighty. It's not that fuchsia, that's better. On Showcase, we got some Smoky Quartz. Love the gold color. On Showcase, we have Dirty Truths. Showstopper, we have some How You Doing? More Showcase, we have London Fog. In case you can't tell, we were a little low on Showcase in the shot, so Andy focused on that. Show Stealer, we have Shadows in the Trees. Showcase, Into the Woods. Box Office, or Worsted Weight, we have some Double Your Pleasure. I don't know if you guys have ever seen this colorway. This was a new semi-solid we did right before our October shows. It was a new dye color we got in, so this is Double Your Pleasure because it's a spearmint grain. Get it? Like the gum.
I got the Chris Brown song stuck in my head.
You would.
I do.
If you like Dames at Sea, but you wanted it on some Showcase, well, here you go. Some lovely navy on Showcase. I do hear we have one of the best navies around. Playbill, our single ply DK weight, we have Country Road. Breaking Ground on Playbill. Avery, which is named after our niece on Playbill. Dumb Luck on Playbill. Shot in the Dark on Box Office, Worsted Weight. It's kind of reminiscent of Callie's Carrie Shaw she just finished. And Harvest on Showcase. And then we actually have two skeins of Eternal Kiss on Playbill. However, these ones are discounted because there were some issues of spotting and dyes not going through. So you can see here there's some white speckles and stuff, and I may eventually overdye this, but I was thinking, you know, if you mixed like these, if you wanted to do something bulky and hold these two together, and you wanted a discount, we took $3 off a skein on each of these. So, you know, if you wanted to like hold these together, because you can see it's got some of the same colors. So that's what I was kind of thinking, like a cowl or something like that. Now you would get portions where the colors mix, and then where they would be, you know, the other colors with it. So, just to let you know, there are two skeins up on there. And we did upload a new gradient. This is my Lip Gloss Be Poppin' gradient.
I really love this. Like,
so it's a fun pink gradient, a magenta. And you get 5 mini skeins of 30 grams each. Again, 100% Superwash VFL. Each mini skein is 130 yards.
I'm tempted. I'm really tempted.
And then one of the sock blanks we updated this week that did not sell. This is an improv sock blank. It's 463 yards, same base as our Showstopper. They're called improv sock blanks. They're all one of a kind, never to be repeated. This one's called Flea Market. Again, I use idioms to name my sock blanks. So it's almost mirrored, but not quite. So just know if you were doing socks, where the break is here is probably, you know, halfway through, they would not be the same. But it is a single knit sock blank, so keep that in mind. So that's all that's been updated to the shop. You can find the shop at leadingmenfiberarts.bigcartel.com. You can follow us on Instagram as Leading Men Fiber Arts and like our Facebook group, which is Leading Men Fiber Arts. Those are the best two places to stay up to date on updates. And if you want to join our Ravelry group, Leading Men Fiber Arts, you can find the podcast itself. Obviously, you found us somehow, but if you're looking for other options, you can find our website at dramaticknits.com. You can find us on iTunes. Please leave a star rating or a written review. And you can also find us on YouTube. We'd love if you give us subscribe to us and give us a thumbs up on this week's show. We'd greatly appreciate it. And, of course, you can always and should join our Ravelry group, which is Dramatic Knits, one word, video podcast group on Ravelry. So I'm glad to have you back, Kelly.
I'm glad to be back.
Feels more of a natural show anymore. So hopefully you enjoyed Callie being back. And all of you who email me or leave comments on each week of, Steve, you did a good job pushing forward, but we miss Callie. Now you can say, I'm so glad she's back. So
sometimes I secretly want to hit love on that, but then I was like, it's going to be noticeable. So.
It is what it is. We can't make everyone happy. And that's what's so great about the podcasting community. We say that all the time, right? There's a show for you. Mm-hmm. We're not all... I don't like every podcast out there. Callie doesn't like... There's podcasts that I watch that she doesn't. You know what I mean? They're going to click with you. Yeah. Just like music. Boy, we know that we have different tastes in music, right?
Hence why we probably won't be driving to Nashville together.
But, and Andy won't judge me if I put earbuds in and listen to podcasts and things on the way there. So, anyway, until next week, when it'll be a new year, and we hope that you all have a safe and happy new year.
Be responsible. If you think you're too tipsy, either stay there or call a cab or Uber or Lyft or whatever. Your neighbor, I don't care, but make good choices.
So have a safe and happy new year. And until next week,
we hope you
knit something dramatic.